Today, I'm privileged to be here with Margo McDermed, who is the state of Illinois representative for the 37th District, where our office at Sterk Family Law is located. And I'm Gwendolyn Sterk, and we're here today to talk about revenge porn. What a topic.
Let's go.
Little deep topic here. So can you identify and tell people, Margo, what revenge porn really is?
Well, we've defined it as, releasing without the consent of the pictured person, pornography in a public way. Usually to humiliate or embarrass or get back at.
Right.
Your ex.
Yeah, you know what? I think it was Thomas Hobbes years ago in the 17 whatever said life is short, nasty, and brutish, right? Maybe it was nasty, brutish, and short. Whatever order he said. And people get even and they use revenge. And you're right. I think that people use this as a tactic to get even, so to speak. But it's a crime.
It is a crime.
And I think it's important that people understand it. It's a crime and it's a felony in Illinois. And the laws are already on the book with regard to this, correct?
That's right.
And can you tell us the evolution of how the structure or how that came about?
Well, I think it came about when there were reports of this happening. Mm-hmm. And we needed to make a specific law to make sure that we grabbed it. Because it didn't necessarily, the new digital revenge didn't necessarily fit in with any of the existing laws.
Right.
So just to make sure that the state's attorneys didn't have to guess and try to put it into a category where it didn't really fit, we've now created a new section for this type of digital release of these kind of images without consent.
Right, and the person who's engaging in this revenge porn is really trying to destroy the structure of the other person. They might be destroying them economically from their career, their reputation, anything that might be able to affect them. And I know that has to be balanced by free speech, but there comes a point in time when the pictures are displayed for that purpose, correct?
Yes.
And that really is where the felony structure comes in. And it can be punishable by prison as well as a large fine. And it can also require the forfeiture of any money you make off of it. Because let's not talk about just only getting even. You might be selling these images to try to make money, right?
Yes. Sometimes it's done just, a wide release with no compensation or payment necessary to get the pictures, but sometimes they'll release it and make money off the pictures.
Which is really crazy. And it's also another category of what we would call cyberbullying, and I know that you can get certain levels of order protections for that as well, but it's important to address it from the fact that it is a crime. It's been on the books for a number of years, but then in 2019, Illinois then adopted the crime victims compensation portion of this to apply to revenge porn. Can you first tell everybody what the Crime Victims Compensation Act is?
To make sure that if that you can recover the pecuniary loss that you've suffered as a result of being the victim of this crime. Okay. Because you might need some psychiatric care, you might actually be physically ill,
right?
Just to make you whole. There may be some other
it could be an economic sanction on you too.
Right, you might have lost your job because they don't want to employ a person like this.
In the media and that extension. So it gives you the ability to apply for those remedies, and that's really what the extension is.
And sometimes a pecuniary penalty in this type of situation hurts worse than the threat of jail time.
Right, I understand that, right. And so really these laws close that loophole from that social media. Now we're allowing them to get the compensation. And I think the message out there to everybody is be careful before you post, right?
Absolutely. And however strong your feelings may be running against that ex, you might want to just move on and delete those pictures and not be doing some late night posting or some thinking this is some kind of a good idea, because it's not. And that's the kind of thing that, once it's public, it will always come, it'll always be out there and you're not going to get away with it.
One of the things I also want to talk about, both the law as well as now the order protection relief that you can get, is it's interesting because you can actually get relief if you ask somebody to engage a third person to do it. So it literally doesn't have to be you the one posting. If I had pictures and I gave it to somebody else to post and I'm still using it for that intent, you can have that underlying liability as well.
Sadly, there was a whole app or organization or company that would do this for exes.
Oh, jeez.
And so we wanted to make sure to get that as well, because some people are not technically savvy enough, or they were just using this facility to do their dirty work for them.
Right.
So
and
we
then
wanted to
somehow
make
they're off the hook, right?
Yeah, no.
Yeah,
no,
not
no,
under
no,
Illinois
no.
law, right? So this becomes another law for people to be familiar with. Look, if you've been a victim of revenge porn, you need to take some action. You need to call the police. You can go to the state's attorney's office. You can call Margo's office. You can call our office to get information about what remedies are available. What do I do to start taking some action? You can have some civil action as well as criminal potential. Obviously, that's up to the state's attorney's office as to what they're going to do, whether or not they're going to have enough evidence to go forward with it. So that's if you're the victim. And if you're the person who is engaged in this conduct or you have the tapes, Margo's right. Stop. Put it away. Burn it. Destroy it. Do whatever, right?
Move on.
Move on. Yeah, that really is
There's
the
more
message.
fish in the sea.
Right, and there's things that can be done. So this is a topic I think that becomes almost a frightened fear, and they use it as, manipulation over somebody's head too. If you don't do X, Y, or Z, or if you don't stay in this relationship, I'm going to publish this as well. Stop that behavior.
Absolutely.
It's not going anywhere, and it's the new day we live in, and we have to address it. So thank you so much for taking the time to make sure that these new laws are created on our books to have this added level of protection as technology evolves. Nice to
You're
talk to
welcome.
you.